be done on earth as it is in heaven, uncompromised music. You can say you love the greatest. Today is the day that the Lord has made, so y'all better listen up and obey. Anyway, the other day I was thinking of writing a song to go against all this socialism, this communism that we see in our country, and not only in our country, but throughout North America and throughout the world, with this wearing of masks, washing of hands all the time. But anyway, you have to have a vaccine code and all these things. Then the Lord spoke to me about, writing another song, because I already have a song called Are You Ready?, which represents a little bit of fighting against the world and a little bit of evangelism at the same time. And then on January 12th, 2021, at approximately 11:39 p.m., the Lord says to me, stop fighting the world, but win the world to Christ. Then he shows me some passages that relate to what he is saying. So it brings me to a passage in John chapter 12. And in verse 47 it says, and if anyone hears my words and does not believe, I do not judge him. For I do not come to judge the world, but to save the world, he says. I guess fighting against the world is like judging the world. You know what I mean? Some Christians are very judgmental and very, some live a hypocritical life. One minute they're in church, next minute they sound like the devil. You know what I mean? One minute they preach, the next minute they sound like the devil. One minute they share a testimony or they pray over somebody. The next minute, maybe on social media, they post something very negative. Things of that nature. So we are not supposed to fight against the world, is what basically the Lord is telling us, especially at a time like this. And in John 3, not 16, everybody knows that verse. But if you read further on in verse 17, it says, for God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. Ooh. That the world through him might be saved. Oh my goodness. And, it's very, very important for us as believers to literally do what we are called to do. And, we are to be on our knees and pray for those who are lost and broken. And even in leadership, we have to pray for our leadership. If we think that the leadership is not going the right way, then we should pray for them. I too made a mistake by condemning my leaders at one point in my life. I confess of that sin. And I extend my apologies to those who were in leadership at the time when I, bashed them, whether through music or through my Facebook posts or whatever, But the Bible clearly states in 1 Peter chapter 2, in verse 11 to 12, it says, dear friends, I warn you as temporary residents and foreigners, to keep away from worldly desires that wage war against your very souls. Be careful to live properly among your unbelieving neighbors. Then, even if they accuse you of doing wrong, they will see your honorable behavior, and they will give honor to God when he judges the world. Wow. Now, I have to give you this famous passage because we need to be reminded sometimes. We need to be reminded that we are not of this world. And we are not to fight the world and their system. Instead, our calling, our main purpose here is to save souls. Save lives. Pray for souls. Pray for the brokenhearted. Pray for them. And may they come to Christ, because time is ticking. And we need to be vigilant and be watchful and be truthful. So, the famous passage that everybody loves to read. So, I would encourage you to start practicing this passage where it says, in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, it says, For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood. See that? We do not wrestle against flesh and blood. We do not wrestle against the people of this world, but against principalities. Principalities. And against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this age. Against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. See, we war against the unseen world. That's what we fight against, not the visible world. Let them do what they got to do. But us, let us be on our knees and pray. That's all we need to do. Okay? So, with that being said, let us continue to be vigilant. Let us continue to walk in integrity. Let us continue to walk in humility. Let us continue to walk in obedience and submission to the Godhead 3 in 1. May we continue to be obedient to His word, or to His voice, and may we just be honorable in His eyes and in the people's eyes. All right. May God bless each and every one of you. Thanks for watching. Make sure you share this message to somebody you know that is going through this. All right. God bless you.